Hello everyone, Vickieverlie here, Rock and Roll Prophetess. As we approach the end of 2026, I was trying to think of one more reading to put up for the end of December for the collective here. And I thought, well, why don't I do a year ahead for each sign, but this is going to be only a partial year ahead of what the actual reading is. So in the actual personal readings that I'm having the special on, it's coming down to the very last minutes of this. You can get it until the end of December, and that's going to be it. But I've been doing a lot of them, and in the actual readings, the personal readings that I do for this, what I start out with is the first half of it is all the astrology. It's all the astrology on your personal planets, what's the transits going to hit, where all the eclipses are going to hit. And then we do this part, which I'm going to do as a collective reading for all, and then we also pull an animal totem. So the individual personal readings are more in-depth than this, but I wanted to give everybody an idea of what it's actually like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull cards for the 4 quarters of 2026. So we have 3-month increments: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And I'm going to put 3 cards out for each sign. And although there's 3 cards in 3 months, it doesn't necessarily have to correspond to rigid, well, this one's January, February, March. It's more of this is the overall vibe for the first 3 months, and so on. Okay, so if you haven't got your year ahead, many of you have. I've been really busy, and I'm really grateful to everybody who's been ordering. But if you haven't got it and you're kind of wondering, well, what is it really all about? Again, this isn't the whole thing. This isn't the full Monty, my guides are saying. What it is just the card portion of it, okay? All right, so we're going to go sign by sign and start with the sign of Aries. Again, if you skip the intro, this is only a portion of what the personal year ahead reading is like. There's an astrology part and an animal totem part, but we will go ahead and do the 4 quarters of the year for Aries, Sun, Rising, Moon for 2026. January, February, March, we have the Magician. We're going to have to turn off the light, and I always have to do some adjusting for you, Aries. I'm not Hermit. Got Magician, Emperor, and Ace of Wands for the first quarter. Now, if you skip the intro, this isn't necessarily each month. It's just the overall vibes for the first quarter. Sometimes it can work out to be that way, but it's not necessarily that way. April, May, June for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, 2026. We have Judgment, 2 of Wands, or 2 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Swords, okay? July, August, September for Aries, Sun, Rising, Moon, 2026. We have Knight of Wands, representation of you, 10 of Cups, the Lovers, and then finally the last 3 months of the year for Aries friends, Sun, Rising, Moon for 2026. 1, 2, 3. And we have the Justice card, the 2 of Wands, and 7 of Swords. Let's see if we can really squeeze all these in. This is, if you're not familiar, this is my Rock and Roll Tarot deck, and one of the good things about this deck is there's writing on it and things. If any of that grabs your eye, that may be a way that you can get a message from your actual spirit guides, a personal message out from the general reading. I need to change glasses, and there we go. Well, you're definitely starting out the year with a bang, my guides are saying. Ace of Wands, but also the Magician, which is number 1, and more or less the ace of the major arcana. So turning the corner, making those new beginnings, starting those new things. Well, what's happening astrology-wise, just in general, in February, we've got these big transits are moving back into your sign. And if, in personal reading, we would definitely discuss, exact dates when these things would actually hit your personal planets and so on. Okay, Aries, I had to find my astrology thing. There's always an adjustment with you guys, and I'm back. So, here's what's going on. It's interesting because you do have 2 new beginnings, astrology speaking, and again, if you had the personal reading, we'd really look into it. But the first one is January 26th, when Neptune goes into your sign, and this is over a 200-year cycle, so you'll never see this again. And then the second one is on February 13th, when Saturn goes into your sign, and this is like a 28.5 year cycle, but might as well just round it up to 30. And then also on February 20th, there's going to be a Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries. So 0 degrees of Aries is the beginning of everything. You know, you're the first sign of the zodiac, 0 degree is the beginning of everything. So it's not surprising that you have these two new beginnings showing up in the first part of the month, or the first quarter of the year, I should say. So the Emperor is here. There's going to be, you know, either one of these is you and you're getting the attention of the Emperor, or maybe this is both you. You know, you're stepping into your power and you're becoming the Emperor. I feel like it's a little bit of both. So you're really starting this new cycle, and you're bound and determined, my guides are saying, to forge your path and be in that true Aries nature. And with these other planets coming in, you're going to have that extra boost of energy to help you do so. Now, April, May, June, there's some juggling of finances, and there could be a little bit of a stress around some financial things, and it may be time to let something go here. There is a karmic cycle ending. And sometimes I will associate this with the nodes of fate. And actually in the summer, in July, end of July, the nodes will be changing signs again, though. But they're going to be at the end of this cycle. The nodes are at the end of this cycle, and even this infinity thing kind of reminds me of the nodes. So this has to do with the nodes. Again, this is something in a personal reading we could really dive into as far as your personal chart. But it feels like many Aries are just really finishing up this big cycle. And after all, the node is in Pisces, in your 12th house of finishing and endings. July, August, September, it's as if you spring back to life. Love is in the air. We've got the Knight of Wands here. And the Knight of Wands is a fire sign. It could be you. You know, it could be a representation of you for sure. Generally speaking, it's a younger, maybe a male energy, fire sign, Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. He's charming, he's passionate, he's ready, you know, he's ready for anything. Many of you would be involved with this person, I want to say. You've got the Ten of Cups and the Lovers right next to each other. I mean, this is major love energy. Love vibes are going on. There are 2 eclipses happening also in August. This is a big eclipse month during the Leo season and then into Virgo season. Some of you may actually be getting married. That could be definitely a thing. But there absolutely is a major love energy happening around this time. This looks like beyond just love of romantic love, which it totally can be, but the Ten of Cups encompasses much more. The Ten of Cups is the marriage card, including the family. So there could be some kind of a big family announcement, big family get-together. Your love and joy is spreading outward and encompassing other people. Okay, and then October, November, December, this is a part of the end of the year. I just remembered I don't have the animal totems out. I wasn't going to do the animal totems, but now I think I will. We're going to switch it up midstream here, Aries. Just hang with me for a minute. Make sure I have all the animal totem cards. I think I do. Anyway, so we're looking at the last 3 months of the year, winding down the end of next year of 2026. Some of you may take some legal action, but it feels like something's been taken away from you. So you feel like you were treated unfairly, and you're looking in the direction of justice. So maybe you're looking to take legal action, or maybe you already had, even all the way back here, taken some kind of a legal action. And now it's coming to fruition. Many of you will be dealing with legal, law, contracts, things of this nature. All right, let's go ahead and get our animal totem for the upcoming year for our Aries friends. We've got the fox. Well, the fox is sly, but the fox is also sexy and sexual, and I feel like that's going to be a big thing for you, even if it's been kind of dormant for a long time, my guides are saying. Okay, fox, sly, sexy, charming. Charming was on here too, and that stood out to me. So you're going to be charmed. So you're going to have your pants charmed off. So he's going to charm your pants off. Elevated sense of smell, acute hearing, mediumship, camouflage, retreat, insulate, survive. Keep to yourself until you know who to trust. Yeah, well, I feel like many of you have been, especially with all this big Pisces energy going on. Now things are moving into your sign, and it feels like you're really ready to initiate. Okay, as I said, this is only part of the reading that you get for the 2026 personal reading, because there's a whole first half of it is looking at all the astrology, and of course it's a psychic reading curtailed more to you. But if you never ordered it and kind of wondered what it was about, here it is, and I hope you got something out of it. And then without further ado, we're going to gather up the cards, and we're going to move on to the sign of Taurus. Okay, Taurus, thanks for joining me for your year ahead. If you skip the intro, this is just a taste of what the actual 2026 personal readings are. In the actual 2026 personal readings, I do a lot of astrology first, really look into the major transits to your placements, and then we go through and do this reading, which is the 4 quarters of the year, putting 3 cards for each quarter, starting with January, February, March for Taurus, Sun, Rising, Moon. For the year of 2026, we have the Magician, and that came out on the cut. The Magician was in that position in the last reading, but it came out on the cut. It's not like I didn't shuffle it in enough. And the Magician and the Empress. We're going to go through and do the definitions once I get all the cards laid out. And of course, in the personal reading, it would be curtailed to you, and I would already be tuned into your vibes because I would have gotten into your astrology chart, which really helps me dive in and get your energy. But then April, May, June for the Taurus Collective for 2026. We have the Sun. You're getting a lot of major arcana. That's what I'm noticing. Well, 2 there and 1 there. Okay, July, August, September for our Taurus friends for the year of 2026. Taurus Collective reading. Here we go. Judgment card. 3 of Wands and Knight of Pentacles. That's a representation of you, the Earth sign person. October, November, December for our Taurus friends for the year of 2026. We have 2, 3. We have the 8 of Swords, the 7 of Cups. I know it's crooked. I'll fix it in a minute. And the Ace of Swords. Okay. Let's get this fixed up a little better. That. There we go. Well, we're starting out the year with a bang with this Ace, the Magician. That was in the last reading. The Magician, you could almost think of the Magician being the ace of the major arcana because it is the number 1. It is the, forging, but it's really being active. It's actively going after what you want, actively forging a trail with the help of the King of Swords standing by your side. The King of Swords could be an air sign of person, of Aquarius, a Gemini or Libra, Sun, Rising, Moon, or sometimes a lawyer or somebody legal. Also, I use the court cards for timers in these readings, so that could be in the air sign time. And in this quadrant, the air sign time is going to be Aquarius season, which is late January through late February. But this person is definitely taking notice, helping you move forward. And then the Empress is here too. So a lot of abundance, happiness. You've got the Empress leading right into the Sun card, so there could be a pregnancy, announcement of a pregnancy during these, March, April, early spring months. But Empress is also just major abundance. This person, for some, this person is going to be the liaison to the Empress for you. They use that word liaison. So in other words, you're going to reach out. This person's going to say yes, yes, yes. But really they're the go-between or the liaison to get to the actual Empress, who is the person that's bestowing that abundance on you. It could even be you. In many cases, I feel like it is you. Like you will definitely be in that energy. There's an opportunity to be. April, May, June, you've got the sun shining. Well, that's your solar return time. That is Taurus season. So something around there may be a letdown around your solar return time or your birthday time or when the sun goes over your rising, if you're Taurus rising. But, it's okay because just stay in. This is a follow your bliss energy because this feels like there's something coming up and you're leery of it here. You're on guard and leery of it because in the past, a similar thing may have been you felt exploited is what's really standing out to me. By the way, let those words stand out to you as well because then you can get the messages. This is my rock and roll tarot deck if you're unfamiliar. Okay, so you felt exploited in the past, but this is a new day and it's a new solar new year. Even if you're Taurus rising, when the sun goes over your ascendant, it also begins a new cycle through your chart. So this is the time of year where these new beginnings are really starting for you. Don't put a damper on it by looking at past failures or feeding that energy. There's that saying about the 2 wolves and one is doubt, anger, fear, and the other is belief, passion, all the good stuff. And they're both there, and it's whichever one we feed. So don't, especially around this time frame, because you're creating your vibes for your upcoming solar year. You don't want to dive into that. You want to stay in that sun energy. You want to put your best foot forward. You want to do what lights you up, makes you happy, that makes you shine bright. July, August, September, we've got the end of a karmic cycle. And the end of something you're not going to have to worry about anymore because your ships are coming in. And then there's this earth sign energy. Now that could be in the time of earth, when in this situation, the earth sign time is going to be the time of Virgo. And that's going to be late August through late September, when we'll be in earth sign of Virgo. But this is also a representation of you, the earth sign of Taurus. But beyond even that, beyond the astrology, the Knight of Pentacles, he's the guy with the coin. He's the bringer of the coin, right? So there's a bringing in of the coin. You're feeling on solid ground. You're feeling secure. October, November, December, this stress is alleviated and you are dreaming a new dream. I feel like you've climbed some kind of a mountain. What is that? Climb the top of the mountain. Look out over the sea. Think about all those strange things. It ain't easy. That's a Bowie song. So it hasn't been easy. But you've climbed to the top of the mountain. You've made some big accomplishments. You've closed some big chapters. Well, here's another thing with you, Taurus. April 25th, I forgot to mention, Uranus is moving out of your sign for good. Well, not for good, but for the next 80-something years, 85 years or so. So you've had Uranus in your sign for the last 7-8 years. It probably hasn't been easy. It's been shaking you up. Tauruses don't like to be shaken up. They like everything just so. So around this time, that Uranian energy is leaving your realm, and you're going to feel maybe more like yourself again, and you're building new dreams. And you've got this Ace of Swords, so there could be some major breakthroughs also at the end of the year. But the worries are over. You've come through some kind of a tunnel or vortex, and you've come out on the other side. I'm going to shuffle up and get your animal totem for the year for our Taurus friends. Again, if you skip the intro, this is exactly like a sample of what the year ahead is. I do all this, but I also start out with a lot of astrology, and for the first half of the reading, which I skipped in this part because there's just too much. But it's curtailed to you. So if you want to get yours, if you're watching this in December, you still got a week or so left to get it. Okay, let's see here. Animal totem. The sheep. The sheep is about being soft and gentle and being stillness, connecting with the land and the earth, which is that's you all day, Taurus. Lamb of God, take away the sins of the world. I switched glasses because I need these glasses to see better. Yeah. Sacrifice, vulnerability, innocence, humility. Stillness, peace, quiet, pastoral life. Prophetic dreams uncover ancient knowledge. Yeah. So yeah, it looks like a wonderful year. There's definitely a big shift in energy that will directly relate to you. If you wanted to order the personal reading, we could take a closer look into where exactly this stuff is going to hit in your planetary placements. But otherwise, have a great new year. Don't forget to check your rising and moon. And be back soon, with another reading. This thing is slipping and sliding. Slipping and a sliding. What is that? Something about, splish splash, I was taking a bath. On about a Saturday night. Was there slipping and sliding in that? Oh, don't we was something in the tub. Do feel alright. Well, we were slipping and a sliding. There it is. Moving and a grooving. They was moving and grooving. All right, hey Gemini, this is going to be a sample of what the card portion of the year ahead reading looks like. You can still order your own if you're watching this in December, but then it's going to be closed down till next year. But what I do in the personal readings is we dive into your chart and your astrology, and we look at all your personal placements. So the first half of the reading is just astrology, and that also helps me really tune into your energy. Then by the time I move to the cards, I've already got your energetic frequencies kind of honed in through looking at your astrology. But this is going to be for Gemini Collective. The first quarter of the year for January, February, March, we have the Two of Cups. This is for 2026, if I forgot to mention that. Seven of Cups. The Magician. The Magician has been out every time. Every reading up there in that first quadrant up there. Well, there is major turning points planetary-wise, but let's see. April, May, June for our Gemini Collective for 2026. Queen of Cups. Eight of Cups. A lot of cup energy. Look at this. Cup. Here a cup, there a cup, everywhere a cup, cup. Gemini is falling in love. Alright, Gems, let's get our July, August, September. You might be falling in love. I thought that we were falling in love. Three of Wands has been out a lot too. Page of Cups. And the Devil. And then on the last quarter of 2026, look ahead for Gemini Collective 1, 2, 3. Easy for you and me. The Five of Swords, Eight of Wands, and King of Pentacles. Alright. As always, when I'm using the Rock and Roll Tarot deck, I will be looking at the words, if anything, and you should too, if any words or shapes or colors stands out to you. Definitely pause the video and dive into that, because it could be a message from your own guides and you could be getting a personal message. Well, Magician is here. There are some big turnabouts in these first 3 months as far as the planets go. There's going to be, let's move this out of the way because we're having a little issue here. There is going to be, Neptune is changing signs, which it's not in your sign, but it's affecting everybody. And it's affecting everybody too because it's going to 0 degrees of Aries, which is the very first degree of the whole zodiac. So it's starting a major new cycle. But you're rip-raring to go, my guides are saying. There's something with a soulmate. A dream is coming. Well, things that you're visualizing are all starting to come true, as far as maybe a soulmate, but also your personal plans and ambitions and what you want to do for yourself. The things that you're planning moving forward. April, May, June, we've got this Queen of Cups. You may be, if there's an opportunity to travel, maybe even to learn something like a seminar or something along this line, this could be a good opportunity, perhaps during water sign time. So water sign time during this quadrant is going to be towards the end of June as we move into the sign of Cancer after the summer solstice in the Northern Hemisphere. This could also be, this feels like the solstice energy, but this is just something that you've spent a long time building up, you may be moving away from, but also you may be taking your knowledge and wanting to further your knowledge. Maybe you've been in a position and you're just like, I always wanted to go back and get my master's, or I always wanted to get my teaching certificate, or I always should have got this or that, thing. Credentials, my guides are saying. For some of you, this could be the time to enlist or enroll in that. Now, the Queen of Cups, who is also connected as a soulmate, it may have a part to play in that. The Queen of Cups is a water sign person, a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. July, August, September, your ships are coming in, some kind of offer in this water sign time. Here it is again, the water sign time of July. You know what else is happening in July? Jupiter is going into Leo. And the other thing that's happening here, I forgot to mention, is Uranus is going into your sign. It's going to be there for a while. And this hasn't been in Gemini for over 80 years. So, surely there's people alive that are in their 80s who experienced it before. But if you experienced something when you were just a little kid or a baby, it's not the same as experiencing it as an adult, as far as transits go, So, yeah, maybe you were 5 years old when if you're like 90 now, you would have been 5 years old when Jupiter was in Gemini, or excuse me, Uranus. But you didn't, that your life was not your own. I'm not to say that some major event might have not happened then, but it's really a first time for most people, As an adult, we experience things much differently. So I forgot to mention that. And then this month, in July, we're going to have Jupiter go into Leo. That's a big shift that's happening here. Something that you feel like you've been in bondage to, and it's carrying over into October here. You feel like there's just no way out, and that you're in bondage to it, and it's just like it's never going to be resolved. I'm just stuck here. I'm trapped. Feeling trapped, right? There's some things are brewing at this time. It feels like, you're seeing it coming on the horizon here, and you're getting the downloads from spirits, or maybe even from an actual person. The breakthrough energy is coming through here, and then by the time we get through to the end of the year, probably by the Capricorn time next year of the solstice, then things are really moving. Something that was a stalemate felt stuck. It's going to really start moving, and the King of Pentacles definitely has something to do with it. Whether it's the person, the earth sign person, the Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. It could also be the time of year again, Capricorn after the solstice. And thirdly, the King of Pentacles usually has to do with money and finance because he holds the coin. Okay, so that's what we do in this, the part 2 of the personal year ahead. That's the second section. It would always be more curtailed to you, and it would be after tuning in through your astrology chart that I would know, probably have a better idea of what this is, and I wouldn't have to be so generalized. It'd be more curtailed to you. I could tune into you. Lastly, we're going to get our animal totem for the Gemini collective for 2026, the Stingray. This is a really cool card, and it doesn't come out that often. And what's interesting to me is it's electric. It's an electric eel, basically. And Uranus is the planet of electricity that's moving into your sign after April. Okay. Stingray, elegant, electric fluid deep, unwavering persistence, ambition, responsive wielding of innate power, maneuvering gracefully through life. Yeah. Well, this innate power is this Uranian energy that's going to come in, and you're going to have to learn how to wield it and navigate with it, with this newfound surge of energy from Uranus being in your sign. So that makes perfect sense. All right, Geminis, well, thanks for checking it out. Again, the real reading is longer. It's about a 20-minute reading, and half of it is cards, half of it is astrology, and people really love it. It's the most popular one, so if you haven't got it, you're wondering what it's about, you still have time to order if you're watching this in December. Next, we're going to move on to the sign of Cancer. Well, hello, Cancer. Let's take a look. I'll get some shuffling going. If you skip the intro, this is like a sort of a preview of my 2026 year ahead personal readings that I have available. But in the personal readings, we do spend some time looking at astrology and looking at placements. And then we do this part here, which is the card reading. And it's broken down into 4 quarters of the year. Not necessarily one card per month, but just kind of the overall vibe for each quarter of the year, starting with January, February, March for the Cancer Collective. Justice. I was going to say Hermit, but of course it's the Emperor and Sun. 3 major arcana right across the board. Higher forces are at work. Okay, April, May, June for the Cancer Collective. April, May, June. April, May, June. We have 7 of Cups, Death, which is only a big change, 9 of Wands, oh, that's it, reshuffle, for July, August, September of 2026 for the Cancer Collective message. July, August, September. We've got Knight of Swords, Magician, and the Fool. And then finally, October, November, December, collective reading for Cancers, Sun, Rising, Moon, or any other placements that you deem star. And the Moon, like the moon and the stars and the sun, yeah, we all shine on. 1 second, let me get a drink of water, and we'll be ready to start the reading. Excuse me. Well, you have a lot of major arcana in this reading. That's what really strikes me. I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of 12 cards are major arcana. So fate will have a hand in your life at this time. One of the big things for the first half of the year, you're going to still have Jupiter in your sign. So this could be what the Jupiter blessings that are trying to come through for you. But let's go through the quarters here. Justice will be done. Some sort of legal matter, perhaps, but also if you are involved in any kind of legal court case or anything. All the red robes are standing out to me. You got the 2 red robes there, and then the red robe of the Magician. Well, the red robe is the root chakra, that's one of the meanings of it. Red, the color red is the root chakra. So finding your foundations, getting into your foundations, the basis of the situations. There's going to be a lot of planetary changes this year, and you're going to be getting a lot of squares to your planets, but it looks like for the majority you're going to fare well. Could be signing with contracts. The Emperor may be offering you an opportunity which requires contracts, because the Sun energy is just saying great. This could also be the sun entering into Aries, the Aries ingress, because of the cardinal ingress, which you are one of. So this might be something that might be popping up around, March 20th or so, but not necessarily. This feels like, there's really kicking off the year with a lot of opportunity for many Cancers. April, May, June, what you've been visualizing is going to come true. You're able to be done with something. Wow. Letting something go. I feel for some of you, you're able to quit a job or retire or move or something. This has been on you for a long time. You've been like, I can't stand this anymore. This is getting harder, but you've been afraid to make the change. Now, or there's going to be opportunity to make it without fear going forward. That's what my guides are saying. July, August, September, here comes this guy is just running right in here, the Knight of Swords. No gender in these readings, so it could be anybody, but it may be an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or Libra. This is also the time frame of eclipse seasons that is going to be happening here in August. I got a feeling like it might be something surrounding that eclipse season. But otherwise, maybe that air sign person, or during the time of air, which would be after this, would be September, end of September as we move into Libra. But he's bringing in all this fresh air, all this fresh energy. You got the 0 and the 1 of the major arcana, the two beginning of the major arcana. And these planets that are shifting gears here, Uranus moving into Gemini, Jupiter moving out of your sign and into Leo during the Leo energy of the eclipse season, those planets will be at 0 and 1 degree. So it could actually be referring to that. But yeah, things really starting to move, and new beginnings everything's opening. Whatever's ending here, now it's starting to really, the new chapter begins. Whatever you had to let go of, there may have been some trepidation, struggle, etc. surrounding letting go of that. But now you're raring to go, and there's people there, particularly this person, to help. October, November, December, you got the star, the spiritual blessings raining down upon you. Major downloads and messages coming like through your dreams, through your meditations, through your dreams, these types of things. Higher forces are around and wanting to work with you and wanting to make things happen. Again, it's talking about this air sign season. So this is Libra season, which is also this part of the cardinal cross, the Aries and the Libra. But it could be, moving on through September into October. You may be really, I want to say for some of you, like your book could just pour right out of you. Or if you're writing a book or a song or a script or whatever you're trying to create in your life, it could just really start, the floodgates are open and it could just really start pouring out of you. Okay, let's go ahead and get the animal totem for the Cancer Collective for the upcoming year of 2026. What do we have for our Cancer friends? The possum, which is very similar to the hangman. Okay, but it's also a high spiritual card. Okay. Dreamer of dreams. Dreams is on here and dreams is on there, both. Seer of vision. And this is dreams too. Dream, dreams, dream. Little dreamer, yeah, yeah. Oh, let me talk about your cool when you were. I was running over that song recently. I might do it. I'm going to start playing some day gigs. Okay, dreamer of dreams, seer of visions. Pause, create, space for enlightenment, breathe. Keep your plans and ideas private, know when to assert yourself and when to play dead. It's interesting that dead is in here with the death card too, but dream. So this is the time to dream, and dreams are going to be coming true for many of you. Well, again, Jupiter is going to lead, has been in your sign, it's going to be in your sign all through July. So the whole year up until the end of July. So that Jupiter's bringing you those blessings and those gifts. And sometimes we don't get the gift or the blessing until it leaves. It gives you a parting gift, All right, Cancer, well, again, that's just a little taste of what the actual year ahead reading is like. It'll be much more personalized. We'll look at your astrology. We'll do all that stuff. If you're watching this in the last week of December, you still have time to order. If not, have a happy new year. Next, we're going to take a look at the sign of Leo. All right, Leo, if you skip the intro, this is just a part of what the 2026 personal reading is like. I start out initially with quite a bit of astrology to really tune into your energy and personalize it to you. And then we do this card portion, okay, for the second half of that reading. This is going to be the 4 quarters of a year, 3 cards per row, first, second, third, fourth quarter, but it's not as if only the cards are represented only each month. It's, you know, it's more like the overall energy vibe for each quarter. Okay, January, February, March. Leo, 2026, Leo Collective. What do we have? 9 of Wands. That card's been out quite a bit too. 3 of Wands. Ships are coming in. And 5 of Cups for the April, May, June quadrant of 2026. For Leo Sun, Rising, Moon. Let's see what we have for Leo Sun, Rising, Moon, or any other Leo placements. 7 of Cups again. That's been, I know this thing's sliding all over. Using a different board. The Hangman and the Fool. Next we're going to look at July, August, September for Leo Collective for the year of 2026. Again, this is available as a personal reading if you want to check it out on my website. Magician, Page of Swords, and 3 of Cups. Finally, the last quarter of the year for our Leo Sun, Rising, Moon people. Anybody who has Leo placements, if any of those words, shapes, or colors stand out to you, definitely take a minute to pause and zoom in and see what it is, because that could be a personal message from your own guides coming through in this general reading. The Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Fire, Knight of Wands, and Page of Cups. Get these aligned kind of better so you can see them. Okay, we're starting out, there's something that you did in the past and it's just like, oh, I tried that before, it didn't work out for me. Unbeknownst to you that there's still hope. All is not lost, there's still hope left, but you may be putting up really defenses because, you know, you say, well, I know all about that, I did that before, and something's wanting to come in, something new and exciting and different. You know, another big thing, that there's 2 big things going on for you this year. June 30th, the end of June, I said July, but it's actually June. I was wrong on one of those readings, but what's happening is Jupiter's moving into your sign. That's a once every 12-year cycle. It's lucky, and if you're Leo, you probably have other Leo placements, so it's going to, you know, if you do the personal reading, I can tell you, well, this is the date it's going to hit your Sun, this is the date it's going to hit your Mercury, Venus, etc., etc. So you can plan accordingly. But the other thing that's happening after July 28th is the South Node is going to move into Leo for the first time in like 19 years. So this is going to bring up all kinds of people from your past. You know, you're going to be meeting up with all sorts of people from your past. You're going to be dealing with past karma. So things that you thought were done and over with are not done and over with yet. Not with the South Node going in your sign. But you're going to have the lucky good fortune of Jupiter being there this time around that could make it turn out way better or differently. You have a different outcome for the better. Second quarter, April, May, June, it's time to pause and create. This is to co-create with the universe. This is you sending up those messages. This is what I'm visualizing. This is what I want to create. This is what I want to do with my life, etc., etc. And then the Hangman is about pausing and listening and getting the answers and getting the downloads. Because it can't just always be outward. You got to ask and then receive. And then Fool, take a chance. Fool puts himself out there, and Fool's not dragging around a bunch of baggage. If you notice, the Fool only has the little tiny bag. See, he's only got the little tiny bag. He's not dragging around a whole bunch of old garbage with him. He's footloose and fancy free, starting on a new path. What is he looking at? He's looking up at the 3 of Wands. Whatever this is, there's opportunity for your ship to come in and you're having success. July, August, September, man, you're hitting the ground running. Now you're really implementing it. You know, now you've got a foot in the door. Now you know exactly what you have to do to go forward. You're gathering other people. And this South Node action, these are going to be people that you knew in past lives that are going to be coming into the picture. You may or may not have interacted with them in the past in this incarnation, but you definitely have known them in a past life. And for the most part, it's looking like they're here to come in and help. And it goes all the way through to the end. We've got all these people. Well, this could be a representation of you, the fire sign person, the Leo, the Aries, the Sag. But these are the 3 time frames too. This is water, fire, earth. And we've got water, fire, earth, you know, rounding out the end of the year as Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, you know, starting at the end of October. But this is just having a lot of people around you. You're getting ideas and inspirations. You've got people that have the money to make things happen, or maybe investors in some cases. For a lot of you, this could be your own business or doing something independently. And maybe somebody's backing. This is a backer for some, I'm hearing, for sure. Backing, you know, your endeavors, you know. And there's other people there around that you've got pages. Normally I do pages are news only, but these feel like people. And then the 3 of Cups is all the people coming together, celebrate. This could be your birthday time. This could be a really nice birthday. Here's another thing, Leo. We're going to have an eclipse. Well, we're going to have 2 eclipses in August, but one only is in Leo. But perhaps, you know, we could take a look. Maybe that's going to be hitting on something big in your planets, you know. These are the things that we look into when you get a personal reading. Okay, let's dive into for the animal totem for 2026 for the Leo Collective. We have the goldfish. That's really good luck. Goldfish is good luck, good fortune, very favorable. Luck, serenity, prosperity, wealth, fluid imagination, losing track of time, celestial connections, altered states, omens of auspicious developments. Well, and then that makes sense too, because it very similar energy to Jupiter, the planet of good luck and good fortune, which is moving into your sign for 1 year. So you can think about some of these old cycles. Jupiter was in Leo last time from 2014 to 2015. Before that from 02 to 03. Before that from 90 to 91. 1979, 1967, etc. Now, if you were born during any of those years, you are having a Jupiter return, which is also really lucky. And that's, again, something we could look into. But anyways, I hope you have a great and prosperous, wonderful year ahead, Leo. If you want to get it personalized one, again, it's on my website. We only have limited time on that. But otherwise, I hope you have a great one. And next, we're going to move on to the sign of Virgo. Okay, Virgo, if you skipped the intro, this is what my 2026 year ahead part of it's like. In the actual personal reading, we go into a lot of astrology first. I look at all the transits. And then we dive into this part, which is the card part of the reading. Okay, this is going to be for the Virgo Collective for the first quarter of 2026, so January, February, March. We have 7 of Swords, 7 of Cups, double 7s, 10 of Cups. Next we're going to do April, May, June, the second quarter of the year of 2026 for our Virgo friends. 1, 2, 3. I have the Hierophant, Star card, and the 3 of Wands, ships that are coming in. Boy, is that 3 of Cups, or Wands, been out quite a bit. Okay, next we're going to do July, August, September. As always, if you see words, colors, images on these cards, my Rock and Roll Tarot deck, definitely take a minute to dive in and see what it says, because that could be a message from your guides, a personal message. Magician, Ace of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. I don't think I've done a reading yet where the Magician hasn't been in here. I know what this is about for you. There's going to be an eclipse in your sign also this year, Virgo, in August 28th. So that's another thing we would absolutely look at astrology-wise. Last quarter. Excuse me, last quarter, I did that one. Next one. Lovers, Death, Lovers, and Hangman. Alright, you got another major arcana rounding out the year. Okay, so we're starting out with you're feeling like something. Some of you are going to love again. Or maybe you're getting divorced and you're going to fall in love again or something like that. This looks like, you know, you've been through the ringer in relationships. And, well, you know what's been happening too? The nodes have been transiting through your sign, the South Node. So you've been in a very karmic couple of years also. By the way, that's going to change July 28th when the North Node moves into Aquarius and South Node moves out of your sign and into Leo. So that won't be back around for another 19 years. But some of you feel like, you know, maybe you were put through the ringer, or, you know, there's some negativity around a situation. Don't focus your energy on that, because you're in a really powerful time of creation. We all are, as these two big planets move in January and February, move into the 0 Aries point. That's a big new beginning for all of us. So you're visualizing and creating. Don't bring into the old stuff that went wrong. Visualize the 10 of Cups, which is the happy ending. And for many of you, you may find, I feel for a lot of you, you were messed around in a relationship, and you were like, you know, once bitten, twice shy kind of thing, but then your heart's going to open to love again, I feel, for many. 10 of Cups is a card of much happiness, love, good vibes that you have been dreaming of. April, May, June, some kind of a bigger company or bigger entity, guided by the star, guided by your spirits and angels, or maybe you are the star, you are the standout. And then there's this Hierophant. This is this bigger group organization, and your ship is coming in, so it feels like you're going to be chosen, you are going to be selected, you are going to get the silver medal, my guides are saying. So that's for somebody. But yeah, making big strides and big success during this time frame. July, August, September, we will have that eclipse in your sign on August 28th. This looks like some new money's coming in, some kind of a new beginning in money for you, and the Magician, you're raring to go forward, you know, whatever it is. Somebody might be, you might be freelancing through these people, or you might go to them and say, listen, I've been bringing a lot of business your way, I deserve a raise, and they would probably say yes, you know. Knight of Swords is part of it in a good way, bringing this new money into you. Knight of Swords could be an air sign person, an Aquarius, a Gemini, Libra. Excuse me, this could also be, excuse me, air sign time. So in this quadrant, air sign time is going to be at the end of September as we move into Libra. But definitely a turning of a corner in career, money pursuits at this time frame. October, November, December is death. It doesn't mean anybody's dying, and it leads to the lover. Some of you are going to meet somebody, and maybe somebody's not all the way divorced here. Somebody's been putting up with a lot of stuff from somebody, like being treated badly. And, you know, you kind of come into this 10 of Cups where it's this beautiful, and you're falling in love here. Something's ending so that this new love may begin. And it really feels like one or the both of you, somebody is attached, and it's going to become unattached. Again, if this doesn't resonate, check your rising and moon. But then you're free to pursue your love that you've been waiting for. You've been waiting 12, maybe the whole year. Or maybe you want to get married, you meet the love of your life, and there's somebody and they're not all the way divorced yet. It might not be like clandestine. You know, it could be a situation where they've been separated forever, but they just never went and, you know, did the legal paperwork on it, or something like that. But some kind of death is bringing you much joy and happiness and love into your life, and I do feel like it's death of an old relationship. Even if it's not divorce, it could be like maybe they finally have let that person go, or you have. Maybe, you know, that the toxicity from another bad relationship has been, you know, bleeding in and toxifying your current relationship or your current prospects, and now you're really ready to let it go. Okay, let's go ahead. And money's flourishing, especially around this time, middle of the year. All right, let's go ahead and get the animal totem for the Virgos for the upcoming year. This is also included in the personal year reading that I do for everybody. Snake. Yeah, snake is shedding the skin. That's the biggest, shedding the skin and renewal. And, you know, with the eclipse in your sign, it's a lunar eclipse. It could absolutely be something being eclipsed out of your life. And then it follows in with this death card. But that's just, you know, letting it go finally. Kundalini, activation, carnal knowledge, portal to awakening, primal chi, medicine. The new you is emerging now, yeah, around this time. And this is also your solar return time, August and September. So that's always a big renewal in itself right there. Okay, like I said, Virgos, if you want to check out a personal reading, it'll be more in depth than this. It's curtailed to you. I'm tuning into you. And there'll be a lot of astrology. We'll really dive into that astrology. And like on those eclipses, chances are it's hitting maybe your sun, but maybe it's hitting some of your other personal planets, and that's the kind of thing that we'll absolutely be looking at. If not, still have a great year ahead, 26, and we're going to move on to the sign of Libra. All right, Libra, well, if you skip the intro, this is sort of like part of what the actual 2026 year ahead personal readings are like. These will only be available to the end of the year, so if you're watching this in December, you still have a week or so to go to order if you want to get it. In the real one, in the personal one, I do the astrology first, which really helps me really get into your energy and make sure that I'm tuning into you. And then we move on to this part, which is the 4-part card reading for the 4 quarters of the year. Starting with January, February, March. For Aquarius, we have the Moon card, 2 of Swords, and 6 of Cups. April, May, June for our Libra friends for the year of 2026. April, May, June of 26 for Libras. Got the Justice card. There's a couple. Ace of Pentacles showed out, but this is, man, that card keeps popping. And then the King of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles did show out, but it was several cards down. I couldn't take them all. It kind of came out on a cut, like, you know what I mean? All right, July, August, September. July, August, September for Libras. July, August. Oh, damn. Well, I almost dropped the whole deck. But there's the cut. And then we'll do one more cut. We got the Magician again. The Magician and Death again. And Ace of Cups. There's something new. Well, that Magician, I think, has been out in, I think, every reading. And, you know, there goes one card on the ground. The Devil. There we go. Devil, and then 2 more cards. We have 3 of Wands. That's been out quite a bit as well. And then 5 of Pentacles. All right. Excuse me 1 second. Okay, let's have a look-see here. We've got the Moon card there, so that's like using your intuition, tuning into dreams, trusting your hunches. It could also be talking about some of the new and full moons during these months' times. You know, it could be something that's going to really affect you. You're trying to make a decision, and something's trying to come back from the past. There's definitely something wanting to come back from the past, or a person, but it could also just bring childhood happiness is what I'm getting. So something from the past that used to bring you joy when you were a child, and that you thought you would maybe, like when you were a child, and they said, what do you want to be when you grow up? What did you say? And that could be maybe, you know, maybe you're really far away from that. Maybe you're doing that, but maybe you're really far away from it. This can also be reconnecting with certain people, like maybe this person. This is, you know, this betrayal thing, and then the Justice card. You know, some of you may be going to court. Some of you may be suing somebody, or some of you may be getting divorced. I said this in the last one, but I mean, there's a similar thing showing up here too. You know, maybe there's been some sort of betrayal is the biggest word that I get. You can look at it yourself, and maybe you'll get something else unethical. And justice will be done. You may need to enlist the help of the justice system, the lawyer, or whatever. Sometimes this could be getting some money or something through a contract. The King of Pentacles is part of it. Pentacles being the earth signs, the Taurus, the Capricorn, Virgo. During this quadrant of the year, we will be an earth sign Taurus from late April through late May. So this person, but it could also be bringing you money. Maybe that you're going to do something with legal, and then you end up getting some money with it too. July, August, September, you're ready to let it go. You said, this is it, I've had enough, I'm moving forward, I'm done with this. And you are done. Death means you are done. Okay, and this is eclipse season, even though it's not in your sign. You know, many Libras, you could have something in Virgo. You totally could, you know, or, you know, the other placements. But after the, we always want to look, what happens after the death? You got the Ace of Cups. So you're feeling better. It's a new beginning in love. It's a new beginning of feeling better. It's a new beginning of creativity. All these sorts of things. October, November, December, you're feeling in bondage. You know, money might be tightening up here. Maybe this new beginnings haven't really started to bear fruit like you hoped they would just yet. But with the 3 of Wands being here, the promise is there of prosperity and achievement and attainment is on the horizon, meaning it's coming. You can see it. It is tangible. It's just not arriving just yet. But don't fall into despair, or, you know, get caught in a downer situation, or take 10 steps backward when you've taken these steps forward, okay? Animal Totem for our Libra collective for 2026. Got the ant, so you'd probably be working really hard when ant shows up. Ant is about working hard, and ant is about community. Okay. Working tirelessly for the good of all. Connecting to the community and knowing our place in it. You can move mountains and make miracles happen. Well, yes, you can. All right, Libra, well, this is just like a little glimpse of what the actual reading is. It's a 20-minute reading, usually about 10 minutes on astrology and 10 minutes on the cards. And, you know, if you haven't got it and you'd like to still, head over to my website. Otherwise, have a great year, and I'll be back soon with another YouTube reading. Okay, next is going to be the collective reading for Scorpio for the 2026 year ahead. If you skip the intro, this is just a little kind of sample taste of what the actual personal 2026 readings are. I do a lot more astrology. I do quite a bit of an astrology overview to start about the first 10 minutes or so, and then we do this for the second 10 minutes. So I'm going to show you what it's like, and we're going to try a collective reading. 4 quarters of the year, starting with January, February, March of 2026 for our Scorpio collective. 3 cards. 3 of Wands again. That card has been out a lot. Ooh, 9 of Cups wish card, different. And 10 of Cups. Oh, look out, Scorps. Got some good cards here. All right, April, May, June for Scorpio. Sun, rising, moon, anybody with Scorpio prominent placements. Magician has been out quite a bit as well. 5 of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. July, August, September. July, August, September for Scorpios. 2026. The last one is only 1 card. 4 of Cups. King of Cups. And what's this 1 card? Judgment. End of his karmic cycle. Okay. And then the last row of the last quarter of 2026 for Scorpio, Sun, rising, moon, peeps. We have 1, 2, 3. And by the way, Page of Wands, 2 of Cups, soulmate card, and the Sun. We got a nice reading here, Scorpio. By the way, if any of the words, colors, shapes, anything kind of stands out to you around here, definitely pay attention to that, because that's probably the way that you can get a message from your actual guides through this, you know, general reading. Well, something really good is popping here. That 3 of Wands means your ship is coming in, but I almost want to say it's the 3rd month of March. But whatever it is, boy, Scorpio, 9 and 10 of Cups. 2 of the best cards in the deck. 9 of Cups is simply that. It's just your wishes coming true. Excuse me. So whatever you were wishing for, hoping for, it's coming for you. And 10 of Cups is the most happiness, joy, celebration. You know, it's absolutely fantastic, best card ever. And the 10 of Cups is known as the marriage card. So it may or may not pertain to marriage. I mean, it could be. There's some love stuff showing up down here, potential love stuff. But really, with the 3 of Wands, it's more about some sort of attainment. It's something that you've been striving for. Because the Magician, we look at the Magician, even though I'm jumping down to the 2nd quadrant, but the Magician, you've been pushing for this. You've been pushing. This isn't something that falls from the sky usually. This is something that you've contributed to, you've worked towards, you've been striving for, okay? So we have that. Oh, it's a floaty in my eye. I thought I saw a spirit. Maybe it's both. I don't know. Well, we're going with floaty so I can concentrate on this reading. April, May, June, there's definitely some financial changes, you know, where you felt down and out, or even not even, this is a financial card, it is a pentacle, okay? But it doesn't even have to be only about money. It's just where you've been feeling kind of down and out and worn out and not appreciated. All of a sudden, there's a big turnabout. The Magician, you've got new life is breathed into something. You feel ready for anything. And a lot of it probably due to this Queen of Pentacles over here. Queen of Pentacles is earth sign energy, which is Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. Maybe happening in the time of Earth. So in this quadrant, this quarter of the year, the time of Earth is Taurus. So that's going to be end of April through end of May, roughly. And so it could be that time frame, but it also could be the person. And again, always with the Pentacles, it could be the money person, right? So things are perking up and changing. And don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help, because it almost looks like they're asking her for help. And she's like, yeah, I can help you. July, August, September, wow, major energy. This guy is just popping off the page, or whatever you want to call it. They could be anybody, no gender, but it's a water sign person, the Scorpio, the Cancer, Pisces. They could, and it's a representation of you too. It could be you, but I feel like it's some other person for many of you. And wow, they are just bringing in all of the good stuff, man. They just light up your world for the rest of the year. You know, if we were to use this as a timer, it could be a Cancer born in the time of July, of Cancer, or during the time of July. They're making you an offer, and this is something so wonderful. This is an end of a karmic cycle. What's the horn pointing at? The horn's pointing down here to the sun. That's just going to light you up and bring you so much bliss and so much joy. It starts in these months, but it rolls on through the rest of the year. This person is a soulmate. They owe a karmic debt to you. They are repaying some sort of a karmic debt to you. That's bringing joy, happiness, wonderment. And you're just going to be putting the finishing touches on a few things here, like around maybe Sagittarius time here during the holiday season next year. And man, it's going to be a wonderful holiday next year. Accept the love or whatever's being offered here, Scorpio, because you deserve it. You don't deserve to be down in here in this dumpy place, okay? Down in the dumps. Down in the boondocks, down in the boondocks. Wow, but the second half of the year, I mean, this just, I can't even just read it as two separate sections, because it just feels like it's whoosh, you know, it's just lighting up that whole second part. So it may start in the summer or fall in the Northern Hemisphere, but it's going to carry on through, all the way through the end of the year. And so much joy, love, and happiness. Looks so wonderful. Okay, next we're going to do the animal totem for the upcoming year for Scorpio, Sun, Rising, Moon. Got the deer. That's about being gentle. Let's read it. Gentle, peaceful, sensitive soul. Loving persuasion realizes desires. Pay attention to your surroundings, ready to act in an instant. Quiet introspect reveals the answers you seek. Yeah. Well, you're going to get a lot of the answers you've been seeking here, Scorpio. A lot of things are turning around. A lot of things are changing. And, you know, especially, you know, one thing, if you're Jupiter, Scorpio rising, I should say, what's going to happen the second half of the year is Jupiter's going to move up into your 10th house of career and achievement and aspirations and goals. So Jupiter is the planet of good luck, blessings, and good fortune. So that could be a little bit of what's playing out here. Also, the nodes are going to change sign to your 4th and 10th house as well. The South Node being in Leo and your 10th house, this could be a karmic favor from a past life coming through. That makes complete sense. Again, it's going to be different for everybody. You still have chance, if you're watching this in the last couple weeks of December, to get in on the personal year ahead, where we'll really look at everything. We'll look at those eclipses. We'll look at those big transits in your chart. And this reading will be, you know, specifically curtailed to you, not just a general overview. All right, well, thanks for tuning in, Scorpio. I hope you have a wonderful 2026. Don't forget to check your rising and moon. And next we're going to move on to the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you such a crazy pants. All right, Saggies, let's get rolling here. If you skip the intro, this is a portion of what the actual personal 2026 readings are like. What we start out with is a lot of astrology, particularly curtailed to your planets, which really helps me to tune into and get into your energy. And then we do this part, which is the card part, which will also be, of course, curtailed to you specifically. But let's get for the general collective of Sagittarius for the first 3 months, first quarter of 2026. We have the Devil, 8 of Swords, and Page of Pentacles. Next, April, May, June, we have for Sagittarius collectives 3 cards, starting with 7 of Swords. That's been out a lot too. King of Cups and Queen of Pentacles. I think these were in the last two readings too. The last reading too, I mean, Scorpio's reading. Okay, 3 more cards for the 3rd quarter of the year for Scorpio. I mean, Sagittarius. If I said the wrong thing, whatever's there is right. And my guides know what is right too. If I accidentally say the wrong thing, you don't have to freak out in the comments, okay? But this is for Sag, July, August, September. 2 of Wands, Ace of Swords, and the Emperor. And then lastly, October, November, December for Sagittarius for 2026, October, November, December. What do we have? We have 5 of Swords, Knight of Fire, that's you, and Ace of Pentacles. We've got 2 aces in this reading, so there's going to be new beginnings, it's for sure. All right, we're starting out being stuck in something. The Devil's about being in bondage. The 8 of Swords are both about being in bondage. Feeling like you're trapped, you can't escape, they are in shackles, he's tied up in knots in their head, and you know, you might be sort of stuck in this messed up sort of energy, right? And news is going to come here that's going to set you free. Page of Pentacles, bringing news about money. Pentacles is Earth sign time, so it could be the first 3 weeks of the month while we're in the year, while we're in January. But news is coming about money that's going to release you from this bondage or change things around like this. You may, April, May, June, you may have to leave a situation that, you know, is just no longer serves you anymore. Or at least you're maybe coming to that realization at this time, okay? And there's a Queen and King, they do feel like they're connected together. They do seem like they're partners, or they're connected together for sure. And, you know, there's something there that, even though that may be where you're going in some cases, because they feel positive to me, but maybe in other cases it's like, you know, they're great people, I love working for them, but I'm just not getting paid enough. I have to look somewhere else, you know. It could go either way. But I do feel for many like this is some married, well, they're married couple or partner, business owner partners or something like that. July, August, September, you've definitely got a new pathway to go, and you're starting to actually see the results. I feel like this is just like, I can't stay here anymore, even though they're cool and every blah, blah, blah. I need more money, or I just can't do it anymore. Now you're saying, okay, now you're planting, you're going forward with it. The 2 of Wands, you're making actual plans. You're talking to the Emperor. Some of you may strike out in your own business. Some of you, this could be people that you've been working with or working for, and they just don't want to, you know, you see better ways to do things. Well, you should do this, I should do that, and they don't want to hear it because they're old school, you know, they're stuck in their ways. And then, so you may have you do have new innovative ideas, even down into here, that you could approach the Emperor with. And the Emperor could partner up with you, maybe as an investor. You could be working with the Emperor. You may decide, this part of this is you deciding, I'm going to be the Emperor. I'm going to run my own business, run things the way I want to run it. There's still some things that you have to come up against that have to be worked out. It's not going to be completely wave a magic wand and everything's different. You got to, you know, there's some things that are going to have to be worked through, but you're going to be able to do it, and you're going to be able to get the money by the end of the year to do whatever you want to do. Maybe it's even just a new job in some cases, but I feel for many of you, you're ready to break out on your own. Okay, let's go ahead and get our animal totem. Again, the personal reading would be much more in depth, and we'd be including a lot more astrology. But let's get the collective Sagittarius animal totem is the firefly. See, the firefly, the big message of the firefly or lightning bug is that it attracts the matches of who you're supposed to be with. So people that are fit are going to be coming in. People that are not a fit are going to be going out. Here's another thing, especially if you are Sagittarius rising, Uranus is going into your 7th house after April 25th. So therefore, your people you work with, people that you're involved with and are dealing with, are going to change probably drastically. You know, you're going to be letting go of old people, and new people are going to be showing in. And different than before. You know, that's the way it's going to be. All right, so, hey, Sagittarius, thanks for tuning in. Check your rising and moon. If you want a more detailed outlook and you're watching this in the last couple of weeks of December here, then go ahead and head over to my website. You still have time to order. If not, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Please do hit that like, share, subscribe, and hype. I'd really appreciate it. And next we're going to move on to the sign of Capricorn. Alright, Caps. This is going to be, if you skip the intro, this is a kind of a preview of the year ahead readings that I offer for personal readings. I do much more astrology in that, and it's more personalized, and it's a lot longer. It's about a 20-minute reading. So check it out if you're interested, but this is how it goes. The first quarter for Capricorn for 2026. We've got Temperance, we've got Hangman, and Tower. 3 major arcana right in a row. Next we're going to shuffle up for the second quarter of 2026 for Capricorn Collective, Sun, Rising, Moon, anybody with Capricorn placements. We've got your, Page of, or Knight of Pentacles, which is a representation of you, Ace of Swords, Ace of Rods, double aces. Next we're going to look at July, August, September for Capricorns. Sun, Rising, Moon, anybody with prominent Capricorn placements. King of Fire, 5 of Pentacles, Judgment. And then last, October, November, December for Capricorn, Sun, Rising, Moon. For the last quarter of the year, 3 cards for the last quarter, 2026. 2 of Wands, 2 of Swords, Ace. So you got these 1s and 2s. So it's going to be a new beginning year. For many it will be because of this whole zero Aries thing. Which again, I would dive into more in the personal reading. But you got aces, 2s, low numbers. Well, the universe is talking to you. You got to listen. Because some big changes are going to have to occur. With the Tower here, big things are changing, ending. But as we move down into April, May, June, particularly maybe Taurus time, through late April through late May, this is all cleared away finally. And when all the debris is finally cleared away from the Tower energy, the new beginnings can really start to happen. You got 2 double aces. So this is going to be maybe a big new turning point for many at this time. Because it's Pentacles, yes, those are the Earth sign people. Yes, it could be a representation of you, but it also is money, okay? And you may have money coming from 2 different streams starting at that time frame. As we roll into July, August, September, we are going to be in eclipse season in August, and this is fire sign energy representing Leo season, which is late July through late August. This person seems to be of help to you. My guides are calling them a hype man, which means, somebody who hypes you up, basically. And don't forget to hit the hype button, too. I keep forgetting to mention that. But it's going to drag you. You may be getting doubtful. You're ruled by Saturn, and Capricorn, sometimes you can get down in the dumps or be on the side, more of a pessimist, So this is, brightening things up, getting things brighter. They've got some solutions. They're also a king, so therefore they have experience, okay? This is an end of a karmic cycle, and these eclipses often do bring ends of karmic cycle. That's not surprising at all. It's pointing down here, and it's going to bring you the new money that you're seeking. Many of you are going to be going through big career changes, breaking off maybe with old partners, business partners, work partners, personal partnerships, and others. You've got the 2 of Wands down here, so this is a card of a strong partnership, but this is new, the Ace to the 2. This is a newer person. It's probably this person, this fire sign energy, this Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries. You've got decisions to make, but there's opportunities for sure as we move towards the end of the year. All right, again, Capricorn, if you skip the intro, the personal reading is much more in depth than this, and we do the astrology, which ties in a lot, and it helps me tune into your energy specifically. But let's go ahead and get the animal totem for 2026 for the collective Capricorns. Dragonfly is a very high spiritual blessing. It's ET. It's very ancient. Inhabiting 2 worlds at once, air and water, day and night. Multidimensional travelers, bringing healing and light, protectors of the realm, lifting the veil of consciousness. Yeah. So you may be lifting the veil of your own consciousness early on here, when you're just like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. There's got to be another way. talking to your guides and angels, co-creating with the universe. And then the other way starts showing up as the year progresses. All right, well, hey, Capricorn, I hope you have a wonderful new year. If you still have time to get in on that year ahead, if you're watching this in December, if you want to get the personalized one, which is much more in depth and personalized, check it out. Please do hit like, subscribe, and hype buttons. Next, we're going to take a look at Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, well, if you skip the intro, this is just a portion of what you get in the personal reading for the 2026 year ahead. The actual personal reading has a bunch of astrology in the beginning. And, you know, even if you don't understand astrology, I pride myself in keeping it really simple so that everybody can understand. It also helps me really tune into your energy specifically. Dog's starting up again. So this is going to be the first quarter of January, February, March for Aquarius friends. The Hermit. Excuse me. Five of Pentacles. And the Magician. The second quarter, April, May, June of 2026 for Aquarius friends. We're going to have 3 more cards. 7 of Cups. 3 of Wands. And the Moon. The third quarter for Aquarius friends for 2026. For the third quarter of 2026, July, August, September, we have 2 of Swords, Hierophant, and the Fool. And then finally, the last quarter of 2026 for Aquarius, Sun, Rising, Moon is going to be Justice, Ace of Wands, and I almost said Roman numerals of all things. So maybe that's for somebody. It means something for somebody, but it's actually the Knight of Cups. All right, so we start out the year making plans. Hermit. Looking over your finances, looking over your situation, and you may be deciding, you know, I really need to do something. I need to break out of this doldrums that I find myself in. And you're going to be seeking guidance as to how to do so. I mean, all Aquarius is Pluto in your sign. You absolutely can go through great transformation, okay? April, May, June, you're making your dreams come true, and you're starting to see them come into fruition with the 3 of Wands. Your ships are coming in. You're seeing the arrival of the good fortune and the things that you're trying to manifest. The Moon card is there, and that also is pay attention to dreams, but it's communing with your spiritual nature, your higher self. And through that, you can achieve tangible results in the real world, because the 3 of Wands is absolutely a physical, real world thing, where these two are more in the psyche, spiritual realm. July, August, September, big decisions are being made, maybe by you, but probably from the Hierophant. You know, they're trying to decide, they're trying to show you the way, is what I'm hearing. I wasn't meaning to say that in any way. But they may be deciding if they're going to hire you, or they're going to invest in you, or whatever the case. And then it looks like it's a yes, because you've got the Fool, and the Fool is steadying his foot on a brand new path. He's starting on a brand new excursion, a brand new pathway in life. October, November, December, the seeds that you planted are blooming and growing, and Justice is here. So you may be signing contracts, there could be legal things going on. The Knight of Cups absolutely has something to do with it, or it could be also the timing of water sign energy, which would be Scorpio season, which is late October through, I don't know if you really need to see my little things here, but late October through most of November. So this is a time that you've planted these seeds, and you're going to start to see them come to fruition. Justice has been done, but justice can also be a karmic situation. Karmatic justice, you know. All right, I'm going to throw one animal totem. Again, the actual reading is about a 20-minute reading. It's much longer and much more in-depth, curtailed specifically to you. It's available on my website till the end of this month. If you've got a few more, you know, a week or so to get in on it. So let's see. The Rat. Yeah, some of you may be dealing with a rat, and you're going to have to flush them out. That's what my guide said here. You're going to have to flush them out and, you know, not be manipulated, not be... Manipulated is really the word that I want to say. I feel like some of you are being manipulated by this rat energy. Sneaking, slinking, hiding, stealing, fear, lack, hoarding, squalor. Surviving in harsh environments, release what no longer serves you. Yeah, that no longer serves you, or Aquarius. You know, magician, you are empowered. Pluto may be stripping some things away out of your life, but it's only for your highest good. I know a lot of times that's not much of a consolation. It's for your highest good. You know how many times I've heard that in my life? It's like, well, what is it? Or what was that? What did I hear recently? Somebody said, I'm tired of living in interesting times, you know. That might be the kind of vibe that you're getting, but it's only to call you to action, to take hold of the reins and create the life you really want. Okay, Aquarius? All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Have a great year. If you can hit that like, subscribe, or pipe buttons, very much appreciated. If you want the personal reading, go to my website. There's not much time left. Lastly, we're going to do our sign of Pisces. Well, Pisces, there's a lot to talk about because Neptune and Saturn are getting out of your sign. If you have late degree Pisces stuff, they may be making one more final pass. These are all things we can be discussed in the astrology. But let's go ahead and get the card portion of the reading for the general collective of Pisces energy for the first quarter of January, February, March. Got the Justice card, the Moon card, and the Ace of Wands. Could be your new moon. You will have a new moon somewhere around your birthday there in March, probably late February, March. There'll be a new moon in Pisces. April, May, June. We're going to read the whole thing. I just wanted to say that before I forgot it. Devil, Six of Cups, Two of Cups. Okay. July, August, September for Pisces. July, August, September. July, August, September for Pisces Sun, Rising, Moon energy. Anybody who has it. Ten of Cups. Ace of Cups. Star. I already see a big storyline unfolding here. Okay. And lastly, October, November, December. Last quarter of the year of 2026 for Pisces. One fell out, which is the Two of Swords. And we'll cut. And we'll get the World. And finish up with the Eight of Swords. And you never thought things could be this good, I think, is what this is telling me here, Pisces. Well, we start out probably that new moon in Pisces. I don't have the calendar ahead of time, but if you did the reading, it's going to be in February or March. Some kind of it's going to be very powerful for setting your intentions and doing your new beginnings. And justice is there, and that can be karmic justice. For you particularly, because Saturn has been in your sign for like 3 years. So karmic justice, finishing up a big karma. Saturn is Lord of the Karma. Finishing up this big karmic cycle. And, being free to move forward. Some of you, somebody's definitely hooking up with their old childhood sweetheart. Maybe you've both gotten married to other people. Maybe you were in a bad marriage, but maybe you couldn't be, or somehow maybe I feel like somebody out there got pregnant and felt they had to marry the person with the pregnancy, but really they were always in love with this other person. There's major, for this whole 2 quarters here, somebody from the past, a major soulmate, a major love energy. You may end up marrying this person. This is when Facebook first came out. So many people were hooking up with their, so many people went back and found their old childhood sweetheart and end up marrying them or something like that. But this is a thing for Pisces big time. Or the other thing it could be, if that's not the case, it could be any person in your family that maybe you were estranged with, that you could definitely come back together with and, get back together. But for many, many, if this isn't your message, then check your rising and moon. But this looks like you were in bondage, you had to marry somebody else or raise your kids or whatever you had to do. And now it's just like, whatever happened to my so-and-so, my first love, and bam, they're looking and thinking about you, star. You're having visitations. You're dreaming about each other. You're visiting on the astral plane. That's what this looks like. And it may just be one of these things where you just get married. It might not even be childhood sweetheart. It could be somebody, just whoever, you know, somebody that you worked with at one time, and maybe it feels like you couldn't be together because one or the other of you was with somebody else. You know, the timing was never right. But now the timing is going to be right for this. This is going to be the big news for many Pisces. This is going to be the all-consuming big event. Is you're going to come back to this old love and meet again, and wow, it's going to be great. You know, the nodes have been in your sign too, and the nodes are moving out. That is another thing that will bring back those past lovers. That south node, well, it's actually the north node, but still, all it's been for a couple, maybe 2 years or something like that. But it's going to move out after July, so this could good chance it's before July, you know. And then as we move to the end of the year, we have big decisions are being made that could lead to the world. Don't be afraid to dream big. Don't be afraid to, because this is your own fears, anxieties, and worries coming into, you know, into the picture here. Don't be worried about it to dream. Make the decision for the highest thing that you really, really want. What you really, really want. Don't sell yourself short. Don't think small. Okay? All right, we're going to get the animal totem for our Pisces collective reading here for 2026. The animal totem we have is the cheetah. Cheetah is major abundance too. It's very much an abundance card. Empath, healer, prolific creator. Things happening at lightning speed. Staying alert for synchronistic signs. The path of the soul practitioner. Well, if you're a soul practitioner, you're not going to be for long. You know, something's coming in here. Things happening at lightning speed. That really rang a bell here. It's like, man, you could say, hey, I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you, and then a month later, you're running off and getting married or something. I mean, somebody's going to the Bahamas to get married, I'm hearing. So, I mean, it's not going to be for everybody. If it doesn't resonate, check your rising moon, or you could order the personal reading where it will definitely be all about you. But anyways, I hope everybody has a blessed holiday season, whatever you celebrate. Wonderful, making love people that you love. Wonderful times. Happy New Year to all, and I'll be back again soon with another reading. Till then, bye.